It's like every time you turn around, there's some new headline about AI, right? Like, it's doing something even crazier than the last one. It's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, definitely.
It's moving fast.
This Bittensor thing, I gotta say, it really caught my eye.
Yeah.
And luckily, we've got you here to help us break it all down. So,
Well, Bittensor is interesting because it's not just another AI tool,
right.
It's trying to like totally change how we think about AI being built in the first place.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit
Yeah.
because we're not just talking about a new app that you can download here. The articles we read describe it as a decentralized marketplace for AI. So what does that actually mean? Like if you had to explain it to my neighbor.
Well, it means taking the power that normally the big companies have with AI and kind of like spreading it out more.
So right now, all the really advanced AI stuff that's being invented, it's happening inside these big tech companies.
Right.
But Bittensor wants to allow anybody, anywhere, to work on AI and also benefit from what comes out of it.
So instead of like Google's AI lab, it's like the whole internet is contributing.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
Like imagine if you took the early days of people sharing computer code online, but instead of code, it's artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And people all over the world can work together, share what they're doing, and actually earn money for their contributions.
Hold on. Rewarded. What do you mean? Is Bittensor paying people to train AI models? That doesn't seem real.
Okay, so that's where the whole marketplace idea comes in.
Okay.
Bittensor has this system that uses digital currency to pay people based on how good their AI models are and how useful they are to other people. It's a way to encourage people to come up with new ideas and make sure that the best ideas win no matter who thought of them.
So like the cream rises to the top, but instead of cream, it's algorithms.
Yeah, exactly. And to make sure nobody's cheating or rigging the system, they're using blockchain technology.
Okay.
You probably heard of that with cryptocurrency.
Right.
But the way it's designed to be decentralized and see-through makes it perfect for making sure that a marketplace like this is fair and nobody's getting scammed.
Okay, so if I'm getting this straight, anybody can contribute to building AI. The best stuff gets rewarded automatically based on how good it actually is, and then this blockchain thing keeps everything on the up and up.
You got it. That's the big idea.
Right.
And we have to remember, this is completely different from how AI works right now. Bittensor is trying to fix a problem, which is that right now, a small number of really big companies have almost all the power when it comes to AI.
And their thinking is that by spreading that power out more to regular people, that's better.
That's their whole philosophy. They think that if more people can work on AI, it'll lead to more creative solutions. Things will improve faster, and in the end, more people will benefit from it.
I mean, it makes sense, but it's a big goal. So they're also talking about constant evolution in these articles. But isn't the whole field of AI already moving incredibly fast? What are they doing that's different?
You're right. AI is already changing so quickly. But right now, most researchers will kind of do their own thing. They might publish their results, and then other people use that to build something new.
Yeah.
But Bittensor's idea is that these models are always being worked on and improved in real time by tons of people all over the world working together.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
So it's less about these big moments where someone announces a big breakthrough and more about like lots of little improvements happening all the time, constantly getting smarter.
Yeah. It's like the difference between someone tinkering in their garage versus a whole team of engineers at a place like SpaceX, where they're constantly testing and improving and pushing the limits of what's possible.
That's a good analogy. I like that. So we're talking about like a totally different approach to how AI is made.
Exactly.
And how it evolves.
It's a different mindset.
Yeah. Okay, so how does this actually work in the real world?
Yeah. It's kind of a whole new way of thinking about how we build AI.
Yeah. So how does it actually work? Like in the real world, what would it look like?
Well, one of the most interesting things about Bittensor is how they're using cryptocurrency to make this whole thing work.
Okay, so we talked about digital currency before, but I gotta be honest with you, my brain kind of gets it when we talk about AI and cryptocurrency separately. But when you put them together, it's like, what?
It is a pretty out there concept.
Yeah.
Basically, they've got their own kind of digital money on Bittensor, and they use that to pay people for their contributions and also just to keep the whole marketplace running.
So like say I'm like this awesome coder.
Right.
And I figure out this really cool algorithm that can teach AI how to write poetry or something.
Okay.
What happens then? I upload that to Bittensor, and then what?
So then other people on Bittensor could take your algorithm and use it for their own AI projects. And if your algorithm ends up being really popular and useful, you'd earn Bittensor's cryptocurrency.
So the better my AI poetry writing code is, like, the more people use it, the more of this Bittensor money I get.
Exactly.
Okay, and then what do I do with this Bittensor currency?
So you could use it to pay for access to other people's AI models and stuff on the platform, or you could even trade it on those cryptocurrency exchanges, just like you can with Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Wow. So it's like a whole economy, but instead of trading oil or gold, it's all based on data and algorithms.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's all about creating this system that can run itself,
Yeah.
where people are encouraged to participate, the best work gets rewarded, and
Yeah.
the whole thing just works because of how it's designed.
This is starting to sound less like some tech platform and more like a whole digital society.
Right. It's
Yeah.
pretty wild. And that's what makes it so interesting. Because Bittensor isn't just trying to build better AI, they want to build a better way for AI to be developed in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
One that's more fair, where everyone has a chance and that everyone can benefit from.
That's a big goal,
It is.
for sure. So are there any downsides? Like, no system's perfect.
Right.
So what are some of the maybe downsides or challenges that Bittensor might run into?
That's a really important question. I think one challenge is just making sure that this whole thing can keep going long term.
Sustainability.
Yeah, you got to find that sweet spot between rewarding people enough, but also making sure the system is healthy and doesn't collapse on itself.
So it's like trying to create a utopia, but it's digital. You got to make sure the rules make sense and actually create the kind of world you want.
Exactly. And then there's always the security question. Because whenever you create something that's decentralized, where there's not like one company in charge,
Yeah.
you got to worry about the bad guys, the hackers and scammers trying to take advantage.
Right.
Bittensor has a lot of security built in using that blockchain technology to try and prevent that. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
So like the Wild West, but online.
Kind of. But seriously, security is a big deal, especially with something as powerful as AI Bittensor has, to make sure the whole thing is safe, transparent, and people can trust it. Otherwise, nobody's going to want to use it.
For sure. So we've talked a lot about like the tech stuff and the money stuff, but what about just like everyday people? How could Bittensor change things for them?
Oh, totally.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the most exciting things about Bittensor is how it could give everyone access to AI.
Okay.
Because right now, the people who benefit most from AI are like big companies and universities.
Right. The people who already have a lot of money and resources.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Bittensor's idea is that AI should be available to everybody, no matter who you are, where you live, or how much money you have.
So it's like taking AI from being this exclusive club and turning it into a public library.
Exactly. And that could be really powerful.
Yeah.
Imagine small businesses being able to use AI to do better, or schools being able to give kids personalized lessons with AI, or people with disabilities using AI to live more independently.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's like giving people the tools to improve their own lives.
Yes, exactly. And that's a really exciting idea.
Yeah.
But of course, with any new technology, we have to think about the downsides too.
Yeah, for sure. No free lunches, right? So what are some of the things we need to be careful about as Bittensor grows?
One big one is bias. Like AI is only as good as the information it learns from.
Right, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if the data itself is biased, then the AI is going to be biased too. Bittensor has to be really careful about that and make sure that it's creating a diverse community and that its algorithms are fair.
So it's not enough to just build it. You have to build it responsibly.
100%. We need to be thinking about the consequences of what we're building and making sure that AI is used to make the world a better place.
That makes a lot of sense. So we've talked about the good, the bad, the things to watch out for, but let's bring this back down to earth for a minute. How could Bittensor actually affect people's lives in the near future? What would that even look like?
Well, just imagine if your phone was powered by Bittensor's AI. It could be learning your habits, what you need, in a much deeper way than the AI assistants we have now. It could anticipate what you need help with, automate your tasks, even give you personalized advice.
So like a personal assistant that knows you better than you know yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes beyond that. Bittensor could totally change how we experience and even create things. Like imagine if you had personalized news curated by AI. Or if you could make music or art with AI tools, or even have conversations with historical figures or fictional characters brought to life with AI.
Okay, now you're just messing with me. That sounds like something out of a movie.
I know, right? It's pretty mind-blowing. But the coolest thing about Bittensor is that it's not just about the technology. It's about giving people the power to control their own technological future.
I like the sound of that. But you know what they say, right? With great power comes great responsibility.
For sure. And that's why it's so important that we keep talking about this stuff, to think about what it all means and how to make sure it's used to benefit everyone.
Totally. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground today, but I feel like we've only just scratched the surface. What are some of the most important things you hope our listeners will remember from today?
I think the biggest takeaway is that Bittensor is a whole new way of thinking about AI.
Hmm.
It's not just about making the technology better, but about making it more fair, giving more people access and making sure it lines up with our values as human beings.
It's about making AI for everybody, right? Not just the big guys, but giving everyone the chance to use it and benefit from it.
Yes,
And
exactly.
even though there are going to be challenges along the way,
Yeah, for sure.
it sounds like it's worth it for the potential.
It really does. Because it gives you hope.
Yeah.
We hear so much about how a few big companies control everything, but Bittensor is different. It's like saying, hey, there's another way we can use technology to give people more control over their lives, not less, to bring people together instead of dividing them.
I like that a lot. And I
Yeah.
think it all starts with knowing about it,
Yeah.
right? Having these conversations and getting the word out.
Exactly. The more people understand what Bittensor is all about, the better chance it has to actually make a difference.
So for everyone listening, I mean, really take some time, do your own research, check out Bittensor's website, because this really feels like the start of something big. It's like we're standing here watching a rocket about to launch to someplace brand new.
And the best part is that anyone can be a part of it. It's not just for tech people. It's for anyone who's excited about the future and believes that technology can make the world a better place.
Well said. And on that note, I want to say a huge thank you to our expert for joining us today and sharing all this amazing information about Bittensor. It's been awesome.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Bittensor. We hope you learned a lot and maybe feel inspired to find out more about this incredible technology. Until next time, keep asking questions and keep exploring.